Ezra McCandless drove out on a remote road in Wisconsin with her on-and-off boyfriend, Alex Woodworth, on Thursday, the 22nd of March, 2018. Alex was only 24 years old and had completed a bachelor's degree in philosophy and biology. He was a substitute philosophy teacher at a local high school and also worked at Racy's coffee shop in downtown Eau Claire, which is where he met Ezra.
Alex was planning to complete a master's degree in philosophy and go on to become a professor.
But Alex never returned from that drive out to rural Wisconsin with Ezra.
Ezra turned up barefoot, bleeding and covered with mud at a local farmhouse and claimed that she had been assaulted. She also claimed to have blacked out and had no memory of the preceding events.
We're going to show you 2 interviews conducted by Detective Ryan Prock with Ezra in the 2 days following Alex's disappearance. They were both conducted at the Mayo Health System in Eau Claire.
In the first interview on the 23rd of March, police are still looking for Alex. They don't know where Alex is or the whereabouts of Ezra's car.
Right, here she is.
Hi Ezra, how are you doing?
I'm tired.
Tired, yeah? When we get done, how should I exit the store? Unlock from the inside?
Yep.
Should she just stay here and I can get someone, or how do you want me to do that?
She can go back to her own.
Okay, you know where you're going to go then?
Mm-hmm. I just fell asleep.
Oh, sorry to wake you, Ezra.
That's okay.
How are you doing?
That's okay.
Yeah, sounds like you've been through the ringer, kind of having a mess going on, huh? Alright, well, I'm here on kind of twofold. I just kind of try to figure out, like where Alex might be.
Yeah.
So right now we can't find him. Okay, we can't find your car either.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm here to talk to you about. So first off, I want to know how you're feeling, how you're doing.
Not great,
No.
to be honest. I was a little better this morning, and it got a little bit.
Good.
And then I had a meeting with the doctor and stuff, and they're trying to figure out which medications I should be on, things like that, for depression and anxiety and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you're meeting with these guys and getting some help and getting you the stuff that you need, the medication that you need to make you feel better.
And right now, I'm trying so hard in my head trying to get things to come to me, but it's just like it keeps getting blocked out and blocked out and blocked out.
Okay.
And I get really frustrated with this.
Yeah, well, just take our time, okay? So I kind of want to walk through yesterday, okay? I've got some of this stuff, but why don't you tell me about yesterday, what you remember?
Yesterday I got up in the morning and I got done looking at, because I've been journaling a lot.
Okay.
And I got up and I looked at the journals I was journaling and starting to journal.
Where are those journals at?
My computer, if you guys want it.
But I mean, where are they located?
Google Docs.
I know, but where's your computer?
My dad's.
Okay, in Stanley?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's an online thing, so you just need my email.
Okay. All right, continue. Sorry about that.
And then, so I was journaling and checking my email to see if I have any emails from the place I started working at.
Okay.
And I had nothing, and I was watching a little bit of TV and stuff, checking on the dog and the cat, and then I showered and got dressed. And then I thought to myself, I'm feeling really good today and really confident, I should go return some stuff that just kind of makes me feel sad. So I was like, I'll do that, and I was gonna text Jason about it, but I didn't because I thought I would see him at the coffee shop, be like, hey, you're here. But I knew he was busy doing laundry and stuff today too, so I didn't want to worry him. Not today, but that day. I didn't want to worry him much, so I knew my dad would be mad about it because he didn't want me driving because I'm currently trying to get insurance.
Okay.
But I felt like, we're going to take a step for myself to be confident,
Okay.
So I went and I made sure all the stuff was in the trunk and the painting, because I painted something for Max, a friend.
Okay.
And so I went to Eau Claire and I went to Racy's and I seen Jason at the coffee shop and I said hi, and then I seen Max and I said, Max, I got the painting for you. So me and Max went to my car and then we went to his house quickly to go. He went and got me 2 paintings and I gave him my painting.
Okay.
And then we went back to Racy's and Jason was gone and I didn't know, so I just decided, since he's not there, I'll just go finish the rest of my day, because I want to be home before 5 because I had to watch Dane, My dad's, I think his fiance now.
Okay.
His son, he's a really good kid.
Okay.
I see him when I work at the school.
Okay.
And I went to town, and I was just feeling really good and positive and stuff.
Okay.
And I went to town, and I got the stuff from the trunk, and I waited for Alex to get dressed and like ready for the day so that he could come downstairs and grab his stuff. And then he suggested we talk for a little while, and I said, okay, I can talk for a while, because your roommate's home, you know. Because then we weren't alone.
Okay.
I think his name's Dave.
Okay.
Dave was there, so we talked about kind of like just life and like how I've been feeling and like the situation we went through and stuff like that. And we just kind of talked, and he seemed kind of iffy about it. He seemed pretty upset still that I've been talking to Jason and stuff. But I told him like, this is how I feel and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then he wanted to talk some more because Jason's shown up, and I understand his concern because of course he's concerned and stuff, and he's just on edge lately too. His life's been really hard for everybody.
Okay.
And then we were talking, and then Alex suggested we go somewhere to talk, and I said, okay, that seems okay.
Okay.
So, you know.
So, continue.
And then after that, we were talking stuff, and I was like, I really want to go to like a park and stuff, and I just remember I keep saying that, and then after that, my brain just starts to like
So,
fizzle.
alright, so you're at his house talking, you decide to go someplace to talk. Where did you end up going?
I suggested we go to Owen Park, and I don't know if we actually went there or not, because I remember going to Owen Park, but I don't know if I actually got to Owen Park or not. That's the scary thing, because I remember the frog, but I don't know if that's from the other day or from...
Okay. What time of day do you think you would have been at Owen Park?
I don't know when I was there. I remember leaving the house around, I think it was 10 when I left
Your house?
the house to my dad's house. I think it was 10.
Okay. Okay. So, did you guys leave Alex's house shortly after the cops came and checked in on you guys?
Yep, because I talked to the officer and said I was feeling fine and stuff, and he said everything seemed fine.
Okay. So then you left, and what vehicle did you leave in?
It's my car.
Okay. And then who was driving?
I was driving.
Okay. And then Alex was in the passenger seat?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then we were driving, and I was talking about stuff, and he seemed a little upset about some things, and then after that it just kind of gets funky, like, in my brain. Like, I just start to... It's like there's a blank slate.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about kind of, like, the, like, counseling and therapy and stuff me and Jason want to pursue and things like that, and, like, how I don't think I want him to be writing, like, if he does know who's writing my number and stuff on the walls of races, if he could ask them to stop and stuff, because I know I was like, I understand you're hurt and stuff also in the situation, but I don't think it's appropriate. Just talking about stuff like that, trying to get things settled between us, you know, because I haven't talked to him since then. I just kind of felt like it felt right for me to, like, express my feelings, but also, even though it's like, I also think it's right for the other person in the party to have to be able to express their feelings too, no matter what.
Alright. So, as you were driving around, this is what you're talking about. Okay, so then what do you remember next?
I remember just Alex started getting pretty upset about some stuff.
What was he getting upset about?
He was upset because he was upset because of John and stuff. Because I talked a little bit about, like, you probably get questioned and stuff like that. That's what I told him. Is like, I'm sure you might get questioned at some point during the case and things. And he seemed upset about it. But he mostly seemed upset about Jason and I, because he told me, like, that if I proceeded to talk to Jason, he would be very upset.
Okay. So then what happened?
And then I just kind of remember just trying to explain myself and stuff, and then it just kind of gets, like, fuzzy for me.
Okay.
I just feel like all I can feel is like anxiety and like pain and stuff.
Okay.
It almost feels like kind of like if somebody would have blindfolded you kind of feeling.
Okay. So then you get found in Menominee. How do you get to Menominee?
I don't know. I just kind of felt like I woke up and I was scared, so I was just walking down the road.
What do you remember about that? I mean...
I remember being cold.
Okay.
And that my feet hurt really bad.
How about your car? What do you remember about your car, where it was left?
I don't remember much about that at all, actually. I just remember being really cold. And just kind of like... It's kind of like the feeling of like you don't know what's happening and you're scared and you just need to keep walking and walking and running and I don't know. I felt kind of like a scared animal. I don't know how to describe it.
How long do you think you were walking before someone found you?
I really don't know. It's very... I keep trying to think about it, and it feels like it just doesn't happen. Like I try to think about it, and all I can feel is just the feelings, and not like seeing.
Okay. You guys were up, you were located in Menominee. Do you have friends, or does Alex have friends in that area? Dunn County, Menominee?
I recognize the guy's name.
Who?
The last name of the gentleman that helped me. I don't remember his face, but I recognize his... I don't remember the last name either, but I remember thinking to myself when I was sitting there that his last name sounded familiar.
Was this nighttime or daytime that this all happened?
I think it was daytime.
Daytime?
Nighttime. I think it was in the afternoon.
Hold it in here. I got the reports. Just so we can make sure we're...
Do you have his name in there?
Mm-mm. So about 6 o'clock at night, our officer came down to the ER.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it happened before then?
Yes.
Okay.
I just remember when I was sitting there, just really like scared and confused and stuff, and my feet hurt really bad. But
so between the time of, let's see, the officers leaving your place and 6 o'clock, you don't remember where y'all went?
No, not really, no. I just remember being really scared.
Okay. How about your phone? Did you have a phone on you? Do you still have the iPod, or do you actually have a phone now?
I don't have a phone. I just have my iPod.
Okay. Was that with you?
Yeah.
Were you texting or talking to anyone?
No. I don't know where it is right now.
Okay. Did you have it when you were found by Dunn County?
They looked in it to try to figure out where I was because I kept telling them that I kept saying my old name for some reason. So I know I'm Ezra, but for some reason I kept telling them I was Monica Carlin because that was my old name before when I was adopted.
Okay. How old were you when you were adopted?
I was pretty young.
Okay. And then you changed your name to Ezra? Mm-hmm. Or did your adopted parents change it?
I changed my name to Ezra about 3 years ago.
Oh, how come?
Just felt right. You know, kind of wanted to feel like I had my own identity and stuff.
Okay. So, you get picked up by someone, and then what happens?
By who?
In Menominee.
I just remember sitting in a chair at the old man's house.
Okay.
And then he called the ambulance and stuff. And then they took me to the hospital, and I've been here since then. I had to get exams and stuff done. And all my clothes.
Okay. So you have no friends in Menominee or Dog County or that?
No.
And you don't know about Alex?
I don't really know much about him when I think about it.
Okay.
I told him a lot of stuff about me when I knew him, but I realized that he didn't tell me.
Okay.
I wish he did.
Did Alex have his phone with him when you guys were together?
I don't know, maybe. I know that it might be at his house because he uses it as an alarm.
Okay. Did you guys go to someone's house?
I don't think so.
Did you guys crash a car?
I don't think I crashed my car.
I mean, if you did, I would like to know just so we can go find it. I mean, you're not in trouble.
I don't remember crashing a car at all.
Okay.
I think I really remember crashing a car because I've been in a few accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't forget those. They really stick with me.
Yeah. Were you on anything? I mean, were you on any drugs or alcohol?
I haven't drank or done anything since back in February before I reported to the police.
If you would have done something, what would you have been doing as far as drugs?
I can't even think of anything.
Marijuana, LSD, cocaine, heroin, meth.
There's none of that stuff at my dad's house or anything like that.
But is that the stuff that you would use, or?
I don't know. If I ever did, I would have only smoked a little bit of marijuana because there was a friend that I used to smoke marijuana with.
Okay. Mushrooms?
No, those are scary.
Okay. If there was anything else that I would need to know, what else would I need to know? I mean, how would I find Alex?
I don't know.
Did he talk about wanting to harm himself ever? Did he talk about wanting to harm you? Did he?
He's in the past talked about harming himself a lot.
Okay. Like, what does he say?
He would talk about how that he would get upset because I didn't like him fully the way he liked me, and that it made him sad enough to want to hurt himself, and he actually did cut his wrist once. And it really scared me. And so I had Jason help him out because he's a medic.
So why did he cut his wrist?
I think it was during the time when I told him that I don't really think I could be in a relationship with him. I remember a lot of nights because he goes to the joint to drink a lot. He drinks every night there.
Okay.
He drinks quite a bit when he's there every night, and I would get a lot of long text messages that I didn't really understand, and they would just give me anxiety.
Okay. So if you didn't go to Owen Park, what other park would you have gone to?
Phoenix.
Okay.
Those are the parks I like.
And what about, I mean, the part that's baffling me is how you end up in Menominee.
I don't know, maybe if I got pushed out or something, because I was covered in a lot of mud. I don't know.
Did you drive into a swamp? Did you drive into a lake?
I would have really remembered that.
Did he drive into a swamp or a lake?
I don't think so.
I mean, it's the part that we're going to, obviously we can't find Alex and we can't find your car, so it's a little concerning to us.
Yeah. I just remember being really scared and just being in pain.
What were you scared of?
Being hurt.
By who or what?
Alex.
Okay. By him doing what, though?
By him, harming me and making me want to do something he wanted.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
He's been upset at me couple times when I would go over, because I was kind of seeing Alex for a little while because I was very confused. And he would get kind of upset when I was too sensitive or in pain and stuff during those interactions.
Who was Jason was or Alex was?
Alex.
Okay. Did Jason do something to Alex?
No.
Did someone else do something to Alex that he's not around?
I don't think so. I wouldn't think someone would, because, like, we haven't seen each other in a long time.
What about Jason? Would Jason do something to Alex?
Jason could never do anything to Alex. Jason's just too, like, he's not that kind of person.
Okay.
And I know that Alex and John are really close. Like, really, really close, and that kind of scared me when I found out.
Okay. You think Alex could be out at John's house?
Maybe. I don't know. I just know that they're close and they talk about a lot of stuff.
How do you know they're close?
Because people tell me they're at the bar a lot together and stuff like that. And a long time ago, Alex told me that John and him kind of wanted to start experimenting and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was just kind of confused about it.
Okay. But is there any parks in Menominee that you would go to?
I don't know anything in Menominee.
How about in Dunn County?
I'm not familiar. I'm only familiar with, like, I don't know where that is or what part that is near.
Okay.
Or anything. I only know, like, places around here and in Stanley and Chippewa, and then, like, in Minnesota, like Stillwater.
Did you travel over to Stillwater yesterday?
No. I wouldn't go there because there's not really much there this time of year.
Okay. How about your car? Does it have like a GPS or anything in it? Anything that helps track it?
It's just an old car.
How about like a Garmin, you know, those Garmin GPSs that you can type in addresses?
I don't know, because I think I gave it back to my mom.
Okay, but at one time it did, but you don't think it does anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just really fuzzy for me right now, and I want to try to figure it out. The doctor is really bad, because I don't like the feeling of just not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, well, you're in a good place, so I hope you try to figure that out, because I would like to know what went on, too.
Yeah, me too.
Right now your car's missing and Alex is missing, and I have no idea if he took it and went someplace, or if you crashed, or if he dropped you off and left you at the side of the road and took off with your car. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's something that we kind of would like to know. Do you know how much gas was in your car?
I just filled it up recently. And then I had my wallet and like a couple 20s and stuff in there.
Did he have his wallet with him, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just know I had quite a bit of cash in there because I usually try to keep my wallet like in my car and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's pretty safe in my car.
Yeah. You mentioned something about all your stuff's on Google Docs.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Excuse me, sir. Hello?
Hi, is this Mark?
No, this is Ryan.
Hi, I think this is
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Hi, this is Olivia.
Yes. Yep.
I just talked to his dad.
Okay.
I was just reviewing on the phone, but he just thinks that, I think it's something still talking.
Yep.
Probably has as much information as I now have.
Okay. Have you talked, did you hear from Alex or anything?
No, I mean, I messaged him and I just sounds just weird, but have you spoken to Matt? No. I guess I'm concerned.
Okay.
Because there was, like, this girl that told that he, like, had a relationship with.
Yep.
And you apparently found her yesterday.
Yep. Is it all right? Say, Sam, is it okay if I give you a call back in a little bit?
Yes.
Say thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. All right. So, no parks or anything in Menominee that you would go to?
No.
Okay, do you think maybe he'd go out to John's house?
I just know they're close, but I don't know.
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of or anything else we need to talk about right now?
No, but as soon as I want to remember as much as I can as soon as possible. Because it doesn't matter, I just want to know.
So just so I remember correctly, you guys were no arguments going on at the house. You guys mutually got into your car. Mm-hmm. You started to drive someplace, and as soon as you started to drive, you, as you put it, everything goes fuzzy at that point.
Yeah.
And then you're found a couple hours later wandering around in Menominee, but you have no idea how you got there. You're covered in mud. Is there a place that you would normally go to get covered in mud? Like, I know because you're an artist and you do that type, is there a place that you prefer to go for that type of shoots or photographs or to paint?
That kind of stuff I usually do in Stanley.
Okay.
At my parents' house.
Okay.
My clothes are pretty gross yesterday because I felt really bad because I think I urinated myself and stuff.
Okay. When you say, I don't have any photos, so how covered in mud were you?
I know it was just this part of my pants and my hands, and then not that much. So
your legs and hands?
Mm-hmm. And they had to take pictures and stuff of my disagreement and stuff like that.
Okay, who took those photos?
The nurse, the same nurse.
Okay, why did they take those photos, do you know?
Because there's a lot of, there's abrasions and stuff on my genital region.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay. Did Menominee take any photographs of your exterior clothes?
No, just the nurses here did, and they took all my clothes and I got it.
Okay. If I have them. So this is called a medical release form. I think you filled one of these out before, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Date of birth is 10/6 now.
If you want my information for the Google thing, I know it too.
Yep, I will.
I use it quite a bit, so it's easy for me to remember.
Let's see, today.
I don't know what time it is. I can't really see very far because I don't have my glasses.
I can tell you what time it is in just a second. All right.
It's hard to remember.
Ezra, you're living on 25th Ave, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So once again, this is just allowing me to get your medical reports and the doctor's notes and everything for everything that happened. Basically, it's going to be from yesterday all the way through, and then it's just dated the 23rd, I want to say today.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Thank you for that. It's about 4:30, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So anything else you can think of right now, or anything else where you might be able to think of, this is where my car is, or this is how my car got there, or anything along those lines?
Not right now, but I think I really want to talk to the whatever therapist they're going to have come in and stuff to see if they can help me through it.
Okay. I will leave my card at the front desk or have them put in your property. If you think of something, give me a call and I'll come talk to you. Or if you think of, hey, this is where the car might be, give me a call and we can maybe try to find it that way.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you can think of?
Not right now, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Like I said, the big thing is I want to find Alex and make sure he's okay. I'm sure that's probably something you want to do is make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, if you crash or if you put the car in the ditch, we just need to know you're not in trouble.
Yeah. I wouldn't think I'd be in trouble.
But, I mean, if you did that, we just need to know so we can go and make sure he's okay.
Or if it's stolen or something like that.
Yeah, I mean...
It doesn't have insurance or anything.
Correct. But you don't think you don't remember driving into the ditch or driving off the road?
No, I would have remembered that. Because I've been in accidents and every time that's happened, I can't forget it at all.
Okay. So you don't remember the time from getting into the car until you're sitting in the old man's house? You have no idea what happened in between then?
No, I just felt scared.
And you have no idea how you got to where you got?
No. Just my feet hurt and stuff, and I didn't know why. I was like, I didn't know what's going on.
How long do you think you were walking?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Do you have any idea what direction you came from or you were walking from? Do you remember turning at all off of anything?
No, it was like a straight road.
You just remember walking straight? Do you remember coming out of a ditch up there?
No. I just remember my hand hurt because of the pavement and I fell down.
Okay. So you remember falling down and then getting up and then just walking straight?
Yeah.
You never came off the side of the road? You never turned off the road? Never climbed out of the ditch? You just went straight? Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I'll leave my card up at the desk for you. If I can think of anything else, I'll come back and talk to you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. But do your best to try to think of stuff, okay?
This is Ezra with Jason Mengel. Jason is a National Guard medic and former boyfriend of Ezra's. Jason was concerned with Ezra's erratic behaviour and called the police to perform a welfare check. This was only hours before she drove off with Alex. The police found Ezra at Alex's house and, after speaking to both of them, found nothing of concern and left them to it.
This next interview is on Saturday, 24th of March. It starts with Ezra being questioned about the visit to Alex she made on the day of his disappearance and attempts to retrace the events of that day. In the second interview, on the 24th of March, the police have now found Ezra's abandoned car stuck in the dirt with Alex's dead body hanging out the back seat.
Alex had been stabbed 16 times in the head, neck, torso and groin.
At the start of this interview, Ezra is unaware that the police had discovered anything.
Alright. So you said you were bringing stuff back. What kind of stuff were you bringing?
A heating pad.
Okay.
And I had like a few just like small things, like a bookmark and stuff like that.
Okay. Who was the heating pad for?
For Alex, because he gave it to me a while ago. I just didn't want it anymore.
Okay.
Because I didn't need it.
Okay. And a bookmark?
It was like because he gave me a lot of like small like bookmarks and stuff like that.
Who did?
Alex.
So you're giving him the bookmarks back?
Yeah.
Okay. How many bookmarks do you think you brought back?
I think just one.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else that you brought with you gathered to bring to Eau Claire?
No, not really, because I already gave back one of the books.
Okay.
And it was The Little Prince.
Okay.
That's all, really.
Okay. So you get the stuff loaded up then?
Yep.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then I drove to Eau Claire.
Yep.
and I get to Racy's, and I see Jason's there, and Max, one of my close friends.
Okay. What happens then?
I briefly say hi to him, but then Max says that I had told him I have the painting for him that I painted.
Okay.
And he got really excited, so we went to his house to go exchange paintings, because he gave me 2 paintings.
Okay. Do you know Max's last name? Do you know where Max lives?
Not the address, but I know he lives in town.
In town as in Eau Claire?
Kind of by the ice rink. That part of town.
Okay. Do you know his phone number off the top of the head, or his Instagram account name, or...
Yeah.
What's his Instagram account name?
Biggity.
Big what?
Biggity. It's like Bigty or something. I don't know how to spell Biggity, but it's Biggity, so it's that twice.
Alright.
He's commented on a few of my things.
Okay. And what is your Instagram name?
Dirt.
Dirt?
Dirt, and then there's an underscore.
Okay.
And then Fiend. No, Fiend.
Dirt Fiend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Something that nobody else would probably have.
Probably not.
It's really hard because Instagram's so big right now, you can't really pick anything, so you gotta pick something really strange and random.
That would be strange and random. Okay, so we meet up with Max. You give him painting. You go to his house.
Yep. And then after his house, we go back to Racy's to drop him off and stuff, and I looked for Jason a little bit, but he already left.
Okay.
To go, he had to do laundry that day, so
Okay.
I assume he probably went to go finish his laundry.
Okay.
And then after that, I went directly over to Alex's house.
Okay, went to Alex's house. What time do you think you went to Alex's house?
I'm not really sure because I left my dad's house around 10, so it takes like 45 minutes to get to Eau Claire and stuff, so it might be around 11 or something.
11? So about 11 o'clock you got to his house then?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he home when you got there?
Yeah.
Okay. So walk me through it. So how did you get over there?
I drove my car and I parked it, and I left it running because I didn't think I'd be in there long.
Okay.
And I just got the stuff from the back of my car and I knocked on the door, but his roommate Dave answered.
Okay, so Dave answered the door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What happened then?
And then Alex came down and I gave him his stuff and he wanted to talk about things.
Okay. So where did the exchange of property take place in the house?
I handed him his stuff on the porch.
Okay.
And then he wanted to talk and I wanted to talk a little bit too, so we went upstairs to go talk because that's where Dave is. His room's right next door.
What do you mean where Dave is?
Dave's bedroom.
Dave's bedroom is upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs.
So you and Alex went to go talk where?
In his room.
In Alex's room?
Yep, because that's where my stuff was supposed to be.
Okay. So you go there to talk to him and you go up to his room?
Mm-hmm.
And who was in that room when you guys talked?
Just me and Alex, but Dave was next door.
Okay. And then, so you're talking in his room, you mentioned something about your stuff was supposed to be there?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I had a yellow cup and like a blue hat and stuff that he had there.
Okay.
And he was just looking around for it and stuff while I was talking.
Okay. So you're in Alex's room talking. What were you guys talking about?
I was talking about, like, I wanted to tell him, you probably might have been questioned or going to get questioned, a heads up about the stuff that happened between me and John and things like that. And we were talking about that, and I was talking about kind of, my feelings about the situation and stuff like that. And then he was just talking kind of about it, too.
Okay, tell us more about, the conversation. How were you feeling and how was he feeling?
I was just feeling kind of, just a little sad because talking about it makes me kind of sad.
Talking about the incident with John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of talking about it and stuff like that, and talking about kind of asking if he would know who's writing my number and stuff on the walls at Racy's and crude things. And I was like, do you have any idea or anything? I'm just like wondering like what's going on there. Because I was just confused, like would you know who was doing it or like what's going on with that?
What do you mean they're writing your number in crude things?
People have been taking pictures of, because someone, I guess there's been a lot of talk about me at the coffee shop there, and someone wrote my old number on the wall in the boys' bathroom and wrote a really bad word above it.
What did they write?
The F word and then me underneath.
Okay. Well, that wasn't very nice of them.
No.
So you're sitting there talking about to Alex about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you guys talk about?
Talked about kind of like my feelings and stuff about like when we kind of had relations together and stuff, like how did you feel about it, how I felt about it and stuff.
How did that go?
It would see for me it seemed like it was going pretty well, but he was mostly kind of quiet and he seemed really quiet, but I was just kind of like trying to say like this is how I felt and stuff, and I just want to know like how you felt and things like that.
How did you feel about
I just kind of was like expressing like how I felt like it wasn't all that right, and how I've been writing about like the guilt of like it and stuff like that, and how things fell out between me and Jason a couple times and stuff like that.
When you say you didn't feel it was right, what do you mean?
Like me and Alex, we've been friends for a while, but also it escalated a few times to like it was more sexual at certain points and stuff like that, and I felt really uncomfortable and anxious.
But were those times consensual between the two of you?
Yeah, it just felt really wrong for me. Really, like
afterwards?
Yeah, I felt really anxious, and it made me feel really like gross and like wrong and things like that. And I just was like wondering, like, did you feel anxious and stuff like that? Asking things, and he said he didn't.
Okay. He said he didn't feel anxious, he didn't feel guilty, or...
No.
How did that make you feel when he said that?
Just kind of confused. Like, I said, didn't you feel like a little anxious when Jason helped you with your cut on your arm when you cut yourself and stuff like that? And he's like, not really, no. So I just kept trying to talk about it, and he was just sitting there, just kind of like listening and stuff like that.
Okay. And then you mentioned him cutting himself. What happened there?
It was a while ago when he did it, but he was out drinking because he drinks a lot at night, and then he went home and he cut his wrist and stuff, and then he texted me about it, how he feels about it and stuff like that. He's talked about kind of like being overwhelmed a lot, and he talks about kind of like his kind of, he didn't talk much about his past, but he said a few things about like he used to do like self-harm, and that he's been kind of violent towards some people, some kids and stuff when he was younger and things like that, and his parents.
Did that kind of surprise you? Because when I talked to him, he seemed like a very mellow, laid-back kind of guy.
Yeah, it really surprised me when he talked about it, and he talked about a lot of like, I remember the night or the day after he cut himself, when I asked Jason if he could help him and stuff because I was so concerned. That I remember he talked about how his parents and stuff had him like exercised as a child, and just stuff like that really surprised me. So it's just been kind of like, I don't know much about him, but I know a few kind of things about him and stuff like that.
Okay. So you guys are up talking in your room. What happens next? Or up in Alex's room. What happens next?
Jason got there. Well, we were talking about like how I was like, remember when he helped you and stuff like that? Like, how did that make you feel? And just kind of talking about it. And then Jason got there, and I heard his phone, so I was like, well, Jason's here. So we went downstairs and stuff.
Okay.
And then I was just like, do you want to keep talking? And he said he wanted to talk more, so I'm like, well, we can go to a park or something and talk.
Okay.
And so the cops were there, I remember that, but I don't remember what the cops look like.
It's fine.
Or anything like that, but we were there, and then I talked to the officers and said, I feel fine, everybody seems fine and stuff, and we just wanted to talk. And they were like, everything looks fine and things, so we went and talked and stuff, and Jason gave me a hug and everything, and then he biked somewhere. I think he biked home.
Okay. So how did Jason know you're at Alex's house?
I don't really know. Maybe, I think he might have asked Max or something at the coffee shop.
Did you tell Max you were heading over to Alex's house?
Yep, I told him I headed over there, get my stuff back and stuff like that.
Okay, so Jason shows up. Whose phone does he call, or how does you said you heard his phone ring?
Yeah.
Whose phone ring?
Jason's phone.
Was he in the house?
I don't know. I just heard, I think he was on the porch, because you can hear from the porch of the upstairs, because it doesn't, I think so.
Okay. But you heard his phone ring somehow, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said you went downstairs and talked to him? Did both you and Alex go down?
No, actually, Jason walked upstairs to talk to us, so the door must have been open or something.
Okay. So what was that conversation like?
Not so bad. Like, Jason came upstairs and he's like, is everybody okay and stuff? Because he gets really concerned about Alex because of when he treated him for his, like, wound and stuff. So he thought when I was talking about, like, he helped you and stuff, that he thought I was saying let him help you, but he didn't hear it right. So he came upstairs, like, everybody okay and stuff, just want to check in and all that. How's it going?
Okay.
And then we both talked to him for a little bit, and then all he seemed was, like, kind of, like, cautious. Like, he thought Alex might be harming himself or something.
But Alex wasn't harming himself?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And so after that, you walk downstairs and see the cops, or where did the cops come into this whole story?
I walked downstairs and I was in my car, just kind of sitting in my car, talking to Jason a little bit and stuff, and the cops were there.
Okay.
Already.
What were you talking to Jason about in the car?
No, he was standing outside of the car. I was telling him that I'm just going to talk about stuff, kind of like my personal things and feelings about the journals I've been writing and things like that.
Okay.
And then he was like, okay. He said I have a lot to talk about, probably, and that it was a good idea to get things out and stuff.
Okay. So then Alex comes down.
Yep.
And all three of you sit and talk with the cops.
Yep.
And everything's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jason gets on his bike and rides away?
Yeah.
And then what happens next?
After that, I remember, like, getting in the car and then saying that we should go to the park in town or one of the parks in town and stuff like that. And then I started, for some reason, feeling a little anxious.
Who got in the car with you?
Alex did.
Where did he get in? Where did he sit?
He was in the passenger seat.
The front passenger seat?
Yeah.
So Alex was in the front passenger seat, you were driving? Mm-hmm. And it's your car?
Yep.
I think you told me yesterday, like silver Impala-ish?
Yeah.
With a bunch of writing on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then, so you're in the car.
Yeah.
And you're starting to drive.
Yeah.
Where'd you end up, mentioned parks?
Yeah, like I wanted to go to either Phoenix Park or Owen Park or something, and then
What other parks would you go to?
I don't really know the names of the parks here, but
Where are they by the ones that you like to go to?
What?
Like where are they by the ones that you like to go to?
The river.
Okay.
Like Phoenix Park I like because it's right next to the water and stuff like that, so I like those parks a lot.
Okay.
And I just told Jason that I kind of want to be in a public place because I'm still kind of uneasy about things that have happened in the past between me and Alex and stuff.
When you say things that have happened in the past, what do you mean?
In the past I've felt kind of uneasy about certain things he's talked about and stuff like that.
Like what has he talked about?
Just kind of his way of thinking.
Okay.
And stuff. Because he likes to talk about philosophy a lot.
Okay.
And I don't really agree with the philosophies that much because they're very negative philosophies. It's kind of like take as much as you want kind of philosophies and stuff like that.
Okay. But he's never harmed you physically?
No.
Like never punched you, kicked you, hit you, or done anything physical along those lines towards you? He's
only kind of held me once when I was uncomfortable.
What do you mean, how held you?
Kind of like this, kind of like if this was his arm, kind of like right here.
Okay, why was he doing that? Why was he putting his arm around your neck from behind? Is that the best way to describe it? So you're standing up and he's behind you and his arm is around.
It was kind of during a time of when things were like getting like intimate.
Okay, so it was during a sexual act.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it made me quite uncomfortable. I didn't really like to feel that way because I said that I was too sensitive and stuff, but he kind of got upset a few times because he didn't get to, like, it's very crude sounding, but he didn't get to, like, finish or something.
Okay.
And he kind of, a couple times that has happened, and I just went along with it mostly.
Okay. But other than him putting his arm around you during intimate times, there was never any physical harm done to you?
No.
He's never punched you, like I said, or kicked you, slapped you, bit you?
Well, he has bit me once, but that was it.
That was during the sexual acts as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was too hard.
Okay. So other than during sexual acts,
Yeah.
there was nothing that constitutes like a physical fight or anything along those lines?
No.
Okay. So you get in the car and you start driving.
Yeah.
Okay, walk me through which direction you drove.
I remember driving. You drive you back up, and then you drive out of the driveway. Like, you back up because that way is where trucks come from. I don't know how, I think it's the right.
Okay.
That's where trucks come from.
Trucks, I think it's the plumbing store?
I think so.
Okay.
And then, so I drove out of the driveway. And I remember driving a little bit down the road, but then things started to get really, like, I started feeling more and more anxious being alone. And then it starts getting really fuzzy from there.
Well, let's try to talk through that fuzzy. Okay. So you're driving towards, I believe it's going to be the west.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're driving west towards and you come up to a stop sign.
Yeah.
Where did you go from there?
From the stop sign, I kind of remember, like, I think I was going to make a loop around, because I think it's a one-way. I don't know.
Well, if you go right, you end up going up a hill.
Yeah.
Did you go up a hill?
I don't really remember any hill.
Okay, if you go left, it kind of takes you down towards the river, past the front of the hospital.
Yeah. I don't really remember going up a hill. I just remember turning and then driving.
Did you go over by Half Moon?
I think so. I don't really remember, like, where I was going.
Okay. So then you're driving, and so now we don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because of what happened there.
I just started feeling really, really anxious for some reason.
Like anxious and uncomfortable, you were saying?
Yeah.
How come you just didn't stop and park and get out?
I thought I would just kind of work through it, because sometimes I can work through, like, when I start feeling anxious, and then I can just breathe and try to work through it.
Okay.
But it just started getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay. What were you guys talking about during this drive?
I was mostly talking about kind of my feelings and the journals I've been writing, and asking questions also about their feelings and stuff like that.
You said their feelings?
Alex's feelings.
So you're driving, talking about Alex's feelings and your feelings and about your journal entries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're really important to me.
Okay. So then as you're driving, when do you stop, like, and park? Do you stop and park someplace?
I think I got out. I'm not sure, because when I get anxious, I think I got out of the car.
Okay.
And whenever I get anxious, I don't like to drive or anything. So I feel like I remember just sitting there and just being anxious and being like, I don't really want to drive. Like, usually I try to have my friends drive me when I'm anxious. I've had my ex-boyfriend kind of drove me around for almost a whole year because I couldn't do it.
Okay. So then you think you park and you get out and sit down?
Yeah.
Does Alex come sit by you?
I don't think so.
Where was Alex at this time?
He wanted to help me out with, like, driving and stuff.
Okay. So I'm kind of confused there.
Yeah. Trying to breathe through, like, anxiety.
Yeah. So is Alex driving you around at this time?
When I got out of the car, the first, like, I got in the car, and then I got out of the car, and then I got back in. I was still feeling really, really anxious and just wanted to talk.
Okay.
So I asked, like, I don't really want to drive anymore. Can you drive me? So I asked him about that. So I remember, like, being like, I know that you know how to drive and stuff. So I had him, like, I'm in the passenger, and I had him get in the driver's seat. So I could be like, can we still talk and go somewhere?
Okay.
But I don't think I should drive, because sometimes I really can't drive.
Okay.
That's how I went off the highway once.
All right. So then he's now driving you.
Yes.
Where are you guys headed towards now?
I don't really know. Like, I started getting for some reason my anxiety just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then I just started, I don't know, I got really, like, tired and anxious. And I just remember just kind of being in the car for a little while. But then it just starts to go blank for me.
Okay. And then what happens?
I remember walking.
Okay, tell me about that.
I remember walking and trying to look for because I was looking for a car. Like, looking to see if there's any cars at any houses or anything.
Okay.
And then I walked up to the old man's house, and I remember sitting down in the chair and stuff. Then I got here.
Okay. So in one of my reports, there's like, it said like something was carved in your arm?
Yeah.
What happened there?
I remember, like, being really nervous or something.
Okay.
And Alex kept using pronouns that weren't my pronouns.
What do you mean?
I used to go by more neutral pronouns in high school and more masculine pronouns. I talked to him briefly about it, how I was kind of going through identity things.
Okay.
But now I go by her pronouns because that's how I feel comfortable.
Okay.
But he kept using the he pronouns because he preferred it.
Okay.
And he used to call me, like, boy a lot and stuff like that. And I was just kind of like, I don't really identify that way anymore.
Okay.
Because, like, I identify kind of feminine and stuff because in the past I just kind of was more masculine for kind of like self-protection.
Okay. And so this injury, so what happened? How did this get, the way it described it is like on one of your arms?
Yeah.
Something happened? Mm-hmm. What happened there?
I remember, like, that's when my anxiety got really bad, is because I remember just kind of being really uncomfortable because I don't like it when people grab me.
Okay.
And I remember just kind of, like, being grabbed, and then it just kind of, like, the anxiety went crazy, like, completely through the roof. The anxiety went up.
Okay.
And then sometimes when that happens, it's just like everything goes black for a while.
All right. So where were you when you were grabbed?
I was in the car.
Okay. And how did he grab you?
Grabbed me by the arm, like right there.
Okay. Where was he?
He was in the He was in the driver's seat. I was in the passenger. I don't know I think we probably were parked.
Okay.
I think it was before we started driving again.
Okay.
And it was just because I remember it happening, like being grabbed and just feeling hurt and anxious, and then it just starts getting really, really dark and fuzzy for me. Just feeling so anxious.
Okay. And so how does your arm get cut up?
Alex, like, he grabbed it, and then he kept telling me about being a boy and stuff like that, how frustrating it is, and then he, like, threatened me.
What do you mean he threatened you?
He didn't say he was gonna do something, but he grabbed me and started doing something.
What do you mean he started doing something?
He started, like, carving something into my arm.
Where is this on your arm?
This arm.
Can I see it by chance?
Yeah.
If you can pull your sleeve up far enough. Oh, is it all bandaged up or no?
Yeah, but I can move it.
Well, if it's bandaged up.
Mm-hmm. It's in this part of my arm.
Okay.
And I just remember...
How deep is it?
It's just a little. It's not too deep, but it's, like, edged into my arm.
Okay.
and it just made me really anxious, and it hurt really bad.
Okay.
And then after that, it just like, I just remember feeling like I was moving, like I was dizzy and moving, and then I remember the car was moving again, and I was just panicked.
What do you mean you panicked?
Like, I just felt panicked, like kind of like a small animal, just kind of scared.
Okay.
And then it's just kind of like everything went away.
Okay.
It got dark and scary.
What did he use to carve that on you?
I think he grabbed what was in my middle console.
What was that?
I have, it's called tiger claws. It's a protectant thing. I keep a couple of like protection, self-defense protection things in my middle console of my car.
Tiger claw. Like what exactly is a tiger? I've never heard of that. So
It's, you squeeze it and then little like claws come out. First, like when you're running, it has a wristband on it.
okay.
And it's just a self-protection kind of like thing.
So if I'm picturing this, it's almost like a brass knuckle type thing that you squeeze and then multiple claws come out?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them sticks out a little farther than the other, but it's for like, my mom always has me carry a bunch of self-protection items and stuff in my car.
Okay. If it wasn't a tiger claw, what might it have been?
I always keep one of my dad's like hunting knives in there too, just in case, because I either have like a tent in my trunk and stuff like that, so I always keep like my tiger claws. I always try to make sure one of my dad's hunting knives are in there, just in case I ever need it, or just in case I ever need to like cut some rope or anything.
Oh, that makes total sense. And what kind of knife was this?
Just kind of your typical hunting knife. I don't know if you're familiar.
Fixed blade? So basically like a fillet knife type of? Or is it one that folds?
It's like a utility one. So like you fold it up so it can be multi-purpose, so it closes and it opens.
Okay. So is it like a utility knife where it has like pliers and
No.
it's just a straight knife? So for me, I refer to those as a buck knife.
Yeah.
Where it's probably about 4 to 5 inches long, or the one that I'm used to is like 4 to 5 inches long, that the blade folds open and then it locks in.
Yeah.
And then the blade's anywhere from 3 to 5 inches long. Mm-hmm. And then you have to like push on the back of it a little button to release the blade.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're describing?
My dad always gets us kids like a couple of them, or he always has a couple of them because we're all hunters and stuff like that.
And what did this knife look like?
I think it was black, mostly.
Okay. And how big a blade on it?
Not too big. Maybe like that big.
How big? So you're holding your fingers...
It's about that big.
About 3 inches?
Yeah.
3.5, 4 inches?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how big a blade it had on it?
Yeah, it wasn't very big though.
Okay, sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Did you sharpen it?
No.
Did your dad sharpen it beforehand?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't really know how to sharpen.
Fair enough. So what else did you have in your car for protection?
I always, in the back of my car, well, not really for protection, but I have a safety kit in there.
Okay, what's in a safety kit?
Like a bottle of water and like fire starting stuff and like bandages and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I always have a tent in my car and your typical kind of stuff. In my glove box, I kind of have like my work gloves because I work with my dad and stuff sometimes.
What does your dad do that you work with him?
He cuts trees down.
Okay, I think you told me that before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's in your car for safety protection.
Yeah.
And what did Alex use?
I think he used the hunting one because I seen him looking around at my console.
Okay.
Ouch.
You okay?
Yeah.
I heard something pop.
Mm-hmm. My shoulder's really sore.
Okay. Why is your shoulder sore?
I don't know. I've been sleeping funny, I think.
Okay. How long has it been sore?
Since like yesterday. It's been kind of sore. This one's a little more sore though for some reason.
Okay. So you think he now used the hunting knife?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And where was he seated when he was as you're putting it carving your arm up?
Well, because I was in the passenger seat, it's my left side. 'Cause that would have been because he's in this seat and I'm in this seat. So he grabbed this arm because it was the closest one.
Okay, so he grabbed this arm and held it. So if you're sitting in the passenger seat, or if I'm sitting in there, he grabs it like this and just holds it. So basically, your arm is just straight. He doesn't bend your shoulder or your arm back at all?
Only slightly, but I pulled, and that's why there's this long line down.
Okay, can we see that by chance?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just kind of curious on how it looks, because...
That's why right here there's a scratch.
Oh, yep, I see the scratch.
And then this one.
Oh, yeah. So he wrote it, just so I have this right, it's on your left arm, on top of the forearm.
Yeah.
And he wrote it with the B is closest to your elbow joint, then the O, and then the Y with some scratches. Okay.
And there's scratches down here too.
And some other scratches there as well.
There's a lot more scratches on my leg.
Okay. You don't need to show us those, but we can talk about those. So you have scratches on your leg, you're saying?
Yeah, they just hurt really bad.
Like, what are those from?
I don't know. I just remember looking down when I was at the Mr. Sipple's house.
Okay.
And I started getting really scared because I seen that there's blood right there, and that there's blood on this leg, but there's more blood right here.
Okay. And so, which hand was Alex holding the knife in?
I don't remember.
Which hand was he holding your arm with?
I can't remember which hand. It's just kind of like I can't even see his face or anything.
Do you know if he's right-handed or left-handed?
I don't.
Okay. Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
You're right-handed? That's what I thought. I thought I asked you that before, but...
I'm right-handed for when I write, but when I go to play sports and everything, I'm my left hand is my
Dominant hand?
That's what I use for sports or other things.
Hunting and fishing? Or hunting, you shoot left-handed, but your dominant hand's right-handed?
Yeah, this is the hand I mostly write with, but sometimes I even eat with this hand. It's kind of like my strong hand.
So earlier you were mentioning your journaling.
Yeah.
And you do that through Google Docs, I believe, right? What is your Gmail account?
It's a long one, because I made it a long time ago. It's the
Okay.
Adventures of Timothy J @gmail.com. Timothy was a character I made up a long time ago to write long stories about.
Okay, I was wondering how you came up with Timothy J.
It's just kind of like a character. I used to write a lot of non-fiction stuff. I mean fiction.
Okay. So, and your Google Docs are all tied to that?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you need the password?
Do you have a password on it? Okay, what's a password?
Oh gosh, now I have to think.
Well,
because I don't know how you guys have to access.
I don't either. Well, you know what, we'll deal with that when you get out. We can maybe sit down and go over your diary stuff. So, at some point he carves boy into your arm. And then, when did that take place?
It took place when we got in the car to go drive somewhere.
Okay. And then, so then you don't know where you go.
No.
Who's driving at this point?
Alex was driving.
Okay.
And I just started feeling really, 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 really anxious. And sometimes when I'm really anxious, everything goes dark for a long time.
Okay.
And I've had an accident because of that in my car.
Okay. And where was the knife now after he carved that into your arm?
I think he put it in his pocket, or he kept it, or he had it by him. But I don't remember.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. So then you go wherever, and then you come out and go to Mr. Sipple's house, or Don, as I've met him. He tells me his name's Don. And he describes you as covered in mud. How did you get covered in mud?
I don't know.
Okay, where were your shoes?
I was wearing my boots.
What kind of, well, yeah, let's talk about that. What were you wearing?
They're brown boots. They're like work boots, but they have, instead of laces, I had to use paracord.
Okay.
Because of one of my jobs.
Okay. So you're wearing brown boots. What else were you wearing?
I don't know if I was wearing socks or... No, I wasn't wearing socks because I had my leggings on that day.
Okay, so you're wearing brown boots, leggings.
They're kind of, I think they're more called stockings.
Okay, stockings.
And then I was wearing my pants that I made myself. And then I can't remember what shirt I was wearing. Mm-hmm. But I was wearing a couple shirts. I was wearing, I think, 3 shirts, 4 shirts.
Okay.
And a sweater, because I don't really like to not wear that much clothes.
Yeah. And then, do you remember what Alex was wearing?
I think he was wearing his black coat.
Okay.
And he just wears kind of raggedy, like, tennis shoes and just normal pants.
Okay. Was he wearing anything else that you can think of?
I think... No.
Okay.
Just kind of like khakis.
Khaki pants?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think when I spoke to him. Scarf? Did he have a scarf?
He didn't wear a scarf.
No. Okay. Did you have a scarf on that day?
Yeah, I did.
What did your scarf look like?
My scarf is, it's kind of like yellow and blue and white and red.
So a multicolored scarf? Mm-hmm. Were you wearing that or was it just in your car?
I was wearing it around me because I was kind of cold.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, when you went to Don's house, you didn't have that on you anymore?
No.
No? Okay. And obviously the reason I'm asking you this is I wasn't there, mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure I have an idea of what you're wearing and what he was wearing. And mm-hmm. So you get to Don's house, and, Don described that you had some cuts on you, mm-hmm. and you also had some blood around your face. How did that happen?
My mouth. I don't know how this happened, but it hurts.
So a little cut. Is it a cut of some sort?
There's a couple of cuts right here. They're kind of healed right now because I've been putting stuff on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had this. My head hurt really bad right here for some reason. I don't know why.
When you say right here, where's right here?
In the back of my head, in this area.
Okay.
And...
So on the back of your head, below the ponytail, you got a ponytail, and so basically right in the back of your head, lower part of the back of your skull.
Yeah.
Your head hurt? Okay.
And then I remember getting to the hospital and they had to take a bunch of pictures and stuff.
Okay. Who took the pictures?
The same nurse.
Okay. Do you remember what she took pictures of?
She took pictures of my face and my neck because there was marks on my neck. And then she took pictures of my hands and stuff, and then she had to take pictures of this area.
Oh, and when you say this area, it's where your cuts are down by your thighs and legs and
like the vaginal region.
The vaginal region. Okay.
I just remember throwing up a lot. Not last night, but the day I got to the hospital, I just remember throwing up a lot.
Why were you throwing up?
I don't know. I just kept throwing up.
Did you end up taking something? Or drinking something?
They gave me something for nausea.
Okay. So you get here, you're puking, they do a sink. Do you remember if they scraped your nails and all that?
They did that.
They scraped your nails, and they did photographs. Mm-hmm. Did they take any hair, like out of your head or that? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. And then it went to you getting brought up here. Mm-hmm. Okay. So part of the reason I'm here is you're saying that you're possibly sexually assaulted by somebody. When did that take place?
I think maybe that's what happened.
Okay, so you don't know that happened.
No.
Okay.
But I think it might have because of where the cuts are and stuff. Because I don't know why somebody would cut my pants or anything.
Okay. And when you say cut, and I haven't seen your pants, like were there multiple cuts, like a few cuts?
There's cuts on my pants right here. There's a lot of cuts on my pants, and then there's some right here. It was cut.
All right.
This part was like.
Okay, so which part was cut out or cut up?
This area of my.
Okay, so your right leg or left leg? Do you remember?
This is both legs have it.
Okay, so both legs, the inner thighs, were cut. Was it less one cut or multiple cuts?
The right leg was cut, one big cut, and then my tights were ripped quite a bit, and then there was multiple cuts on the outer side of my right leg, and then on this leg it was down here.
Down by when you say down here, is it more by your knee?
Yeah, it was lower than this one.
Okay, so right leg was up by your upper inner thigh, was one big one with your tights ripped, and then the other one was on the outside of the leg. There was multiple cuts.
Yeah.
Through the pants. Did they get down to the skin and everything too? Okay, and then on your left leg there was just a cut in your pants on your knee.
Yeah. And then my sweater was ripped and cut, and then I have a small cut right here on my stomach.
Okay, your sweater was cut and you've got a cut on your stomach. Were you bleeding from those at all?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot? Like
I was
gushing like...
No, it was mostly this area that was bleeding more than...
Also your right leg inner thigh area was bleeding.
Yep.
But it wasn't a steady running, it was more...
No, it was just smaller, kind of, not smaller, like, it was small bleeding, I don't know how to describe it. Not a lot of gushing blood, but it was bleeding. So.
It was bleeding, but it wasn't something where...
I haven't had to have stitches.
There we go, perfect. So you didn't have to have stitches, it wasn't deep enough cut that you need stitches, but it was... You cut through the skin enough to bleed. Okay. Excuse me for 1 second, I apologize. So, we obviously went out and found Don.
Yeah.
Okay, and we started with Don, and it was myself and a couple other detectives, and then we ended up getting a hold of Dunn County and Brett here, and we said, all right, where could she have come from? Because you described to me that yesterday that you walked straight down a road, and there was mud on you, and not too far from Don's house we found a mud road.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think we found at the end of the mud road?
I don't know.
Well, we followed the mud road and we saw your footprints.
Okay.
Okay. Why would we find your footprints down the mud road? Okay, what do you think we found at the end of the road, Ezra?
Was it me? I mean, my stuff?
What stuff?
Was it my, car or anything?
We did find your car. What happened back there, Ezra?
In my car?
Mm-hmm.
I don't fully remember.
Well, what do you remember?
I remember being really scared.
Okay.
And in a lot of pain.
Okay. You know, people make mistakes, Ezra. You know, and the best way for us to help you is try to figure out what happened in that car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think you know what happened. I really do. I think it did. And I think you know something happened in there. Right?
Yeah.
I know. And I think something happened to Alex, and you know that too. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to Alex?
I got him off of me.
Okay, walk me through this. What happened?
It's just really painful.
Well, we kind of need to know what happened, okay? We need to know the truth. We need to know what truly happened, okay? Okay, I know it's going to be painful, and I know it's going to be hard, but we got to know, okay? We got to know. So can you please tell us? All right, walk me through, Ezra, what happened. With the truth, please.
When I got to the road, Alex wanted to keep going down the road to have some privacy to talk. And I said, well, there's a lot of nature. I'm sure it'll be fine to talk, because I really like to talk in nature. And when he grabbed me again, and he put me in the back of the car. And he seemed really upset about stuff, and he kept grabbing me, and I didn't know what to do, and he started cutting my pants.
Who did?
Alex.
Okay.
He started cutting my pants open and stuff, and I didn't know what to do, and it was really scary. And then he started cutting my shirt off of me, and I didn't know what to do, and I went to go make him stop, because he had this arm. And I cut my hand because I kept trying to grab him. And so he kept grabbing me and stuff, and then I finally got free, and I finally got the knife away from him, and then he kept trying to grab me in the back of the car. So I just started to defend myself as fast as I could, and then it's like it got dark, and then I woke up, and he just kept trying to attack me, and I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
And it was the scariest thing I've ever experienced in my life, because I've never ever fought back in my whole life.
Okay. So you said you had the knife. Where were you cutting him?
I just was going anywhere and everywhere I could.
Okay.
Just to get him off of me and get away from me.
And did the knife actually make contact with him?
Yes.
Okay.
And even then, he just kept grabbing me and grabbing me and grabbing me.
Okay. So he kept grabbing you after you were stabbing him? Okay, and then what happened?
And then after that, she left the car, and he was laying there, and I didn't know what to do.
Okay, so then what happened?
And then so I just waited, and I was confused and scared, and I was just like coming in and out of it, like it would get dark for a little bit, and then I'd come out of it, and I'd panic again and hyperventilate, and then it would get dark again.
Okay.
And then I just started running.
Okay. Now, where did this stabbing take place?
It took place in my car and then outside when I was on the ground.
Okay. All of it. Do you know how you know where your car was then? Pardon?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know who was driving at that point?
I didn't drive my car anywhere after that.
No, who drove you? So now that we're getting to Ezra talking about what happened there, you were saying that your car, where we found it, how did it get to that dirt road?
Alex drove it up the hill a little bit, and then it started getting stuck. So
Okay.
I was like, I can fix it. I can get it out of here. I just need to drive up the road a little farther where it looks like the frost hasn't given out yet.
Okay.
And so I drove up the road a little bit, and then I got out of the car to try to see what was going on, because it was stuck again, and I was like, I don't know what to do about this car being stuck.
Okay.
So I was looking in my car for maybe a board or anything to put underneath the tire to get traction.
Okay.
And then that's when everything started happening.
Okay. And walk me through again what happened there, Ezra.
After I was in the back of my car looking for stuff.
Okay, so the car gets stuck. Do you remember what's around you?
No. I just remember there's a lot of trees.
Okay. So you're in the back seat, or you're looking for something, you said, right? What happens then?
Alex came after me.
Okay, walk me through that, please.
When I was-
how it happened.
I was in the back seat and I was looking for stuff and I was moving things out of the way, trying to find anything to get my car out of there because I was already anxious as it is. And then Alex came up from behind me and then he just started grabbing me
Okay, how was he grabbing you?
He grabbed me by the throat.
Okay.
And then he pushed me down.
When you say he pushed you down, where did he push you down?
In the car.
Okay.
And then he was on top of me, and he started cutting things. And it was really scary.
Okay, so he was cutting things on you. What was he cutting again?
My pants.
Okay, and then what happened?
He cut my pants, and I tried to grab it, and I hurt my hand.
Okay, let's see the hand, please. Okay.
And then I was moving a lot, and he cut my leg right here.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then after that, I started trying to wrestle him and fight him off of me and kick him, do whatever I could. But I got the knife, and then I just started.
How did you get the knife from him?
I grabbed it. I grabbed it from him and I pulled.
What did you grab? The blade or?
I grabbed the blade the one time, and that hurt a lot.
Okay.
So I tried grabbing the base of it.
Okay.
And then I just, I don't know.
Okay. So once you have the knife in your hand, what happens?
He kept grabbing me.
Okay, how was he grabbing you?
Grabbing me by the arm, and then by, like, just anywhere. He just kept grabbing me.
Okay.
So I was freaking out. I was just freaking out.
So he's grabbing you, and which hand do you have the knife in?
This one.
Okay, and how are you holding it?
I was just holding it like this.
Okay, so right now you have your fist pointing towards me. Was the blade pointed up or blade pointed down? Do you remember?
I think it was pointed down.
Okay. So then, do you remember?
Maybe.
Do you remember where you ended up stabbing him?
I don't really fully know because it was just anything and everywhere.
Okay, anything and everywhere is where you're stabbing him. So was he on top of you? So you have it here. Do you know if you stabbed him in the back or any place?
I don't know if I had it facing up or down.
Okay.
But I just
Okay.
everywhere.
Did all this stabbing take place in the car or outside?
More of it took place outside the car because he went on top of me again.
He went on top of you again outside. So most of the stabbing you said took place outside.
It was inside the car, a lot took place, and then not that much else took place outside of the car after he was on top of me again.
Okay, so you kind of lost me on that part, Ezra. So some of the stabbing took place in the car.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it took place outside.
Not a lot. A lot of it took place in the car, and then outside the car he came after me again.
Okay.
So when that happened in the car, he was on top of you? How did you end up getting out?
Just kicking and stabbing anywhere and everywhere. Just kicking as hard as I could.
Okay. So then once you get out, he still comes at you?
Mm-hmm.
What happens then?
He's tried grabbing me again, and I just did it again. I just started anything and everywhere, like my dad told me to do.
Okay. So your dad told you if someone attacks you, you stab and slice and cut and do whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what happened after you got outside?
And then he started talking and stuff, and I started freaking out, and I couldn't breathe. And then it just kind of goes dark for a little while because I can't breathe or anything, and then I wake up, and he's laying there on like his coat or something, and I couldn't breathe again because I didn't know what was happening.
When you say he's laying there on his coat, what do you mean?
He was laying on his coat on the ground or something.
Okay.
And I looked over and I didn't know what was going on or what happened or what was happening, and I just started breathing really fast again, and then it got dark for me again. And then after I woke up again, I got really scared and confused, and I just started running.
When you woke up again this time, where was he laying?
He was just still laying there.
Laying, how, like, is he outside the car, in the car?
Outside the car.
Okay.
And I didn't know, what to do or, what I was supposed to do, so I just started running as fast as I can, and then it just started getting dark again for me, and confusing and scary, and, I I don't know, I like peed my pants, I didn't even know. And it was so scary.
Okay. Well, we found him. He wasn't outside the car. He was inside the car. How did he get back inside the car, Ezra?
I don't know. When I left and I ran, he was outside.
Okay. When he was stabbed, where do you think you stabbed him?
I think I stabbed him in the legs and in the head and then like the chest and stuff.
Okay. Did you cut his throat? Like slice across his throat at all?
I think so. I think I went to stab him and it like stabbed him in the neck and stuff like that. And then I think I got him in the chest a few times and stuff, but I think I got him in the leg too.
Okay. What about in, like, so, just so we can walk through this.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you stabbed him in the back?
I think so.
Okay, and where else again?
In the legs.
Like where in the legs? So
I think I stabbed him in the right leg.
right leg?
Or I don't know.
Okay,
I think it might have been the right leg.
the upper part of the leg, lower part, are we talking in the privates? Are we talking?
Part of the leg.
So,
Might have been in the private though.
okay, it might have been, how about stomach?
I think so.
Okay, we'll just go, I think this might be the easiest. We'll start at his feet. Did you stab him in his feet?
No.
How about in between his feet and his knee?
No.
Okay, so on either leg. Okay, then we'll go from his knee to his hips.
I think
To include his pelvic triangle, that's what we refer to, or his genitalia area.
I think I stabbed him in the genitalia area by the leg and then in the stomach too.
Okay, when did that happen?
When he was on top of me in the car.
Okay, so you stabbed, how many times do you think you stabbed him in the legs and genitalia and stomach?
I think once.
Once
Twice.
each? Or once total, or
I think I stabbed him twice in this area.
which, you keep,
The genital area
Okay,
and the
and-
stomach.
okay, so you think you stabbed him twice in the penis and testicle area and the stomach area, so that area is twice total. Okay, so now we'll get from the stomach to the chest. Basically, let's go up to his, like, nipple line. What about stabbing him there?
I think I got him in the stomach once.
Okay. How about in the chest, like where his heart, lungs, and rib cage are?
I think I stabbed him in the chest.
Okay. So let's go up to the neck.
I think I stabbed him in the neck a couple times.
Okay. And did you end up slicing it, do you know? Like, or it sounds bad to say it that way, but like cutting across it at all?
I think I cut across it because I came down really hard trying to get the face away and stuff.
Okay.
So I think it might have sliced bad or something. I remember just seeing a lot of blood and being scared and confused as what to do.
Okay. So there, and then we'll go to the face. Did you do anything to his face?
I think I stabbed him in the head.
In the head? Do you know where in the head?
I think the left side.
The left side of his head?
Probably the right side because it was in my right hand.
Okay. How about the back of the head?
No.
Okay, how about to his back?
I think so. I think not the back, but I think by the ribs right here.
Okay. And this all happened while he was on top of you?
And when he was on top of me, and I just needed to get him away and off of me, so I was hurting.
Okay. But all of this took place where your car got stuck? Yeah, none of this took place at any parks? None of this took place in the city of Eau Claire, in the county of Eau Claire? Everything took place in Dunn County, on that dirt road up over where you got stuck?
Yeah, that's where I fought really hard.
Okay. And so when you left, you thought he was laying outside, or outside? Okay. Do you remember when you stabbed him in the throat?
No, I don't. I just remember it happening, but I don't remember the time or when.
You don't know, do you remember which order the stabbing took place?
No, it's just a bunch.
A bunch?
Stuff.
What side of the car were you guys on? Do you remember?
The driver's side of the car.
Okay. So everything took place on the driver's side? Okay. Did you ever try to move his body into the car?
No, I didn't want to touch him.
Okay. If there was a scarf around his neck, how did that get there?
I didn't use my scarf or anything. I just ran. I left because I woke up and I looked over and he was on the ground and I just started running.
Okay.
When you started, let me back up. When you said that he initially had, I think you had said, started attacking you in the backseat, was he saying anything?
Not really, no.
Okay. Do you remember any conversation or anything as far as that goes? If he was directing it towards something, I mean, I'm trying to understand what he was possibly doing. I mean, was he trying to just physically assault you or something sexual at that point in time?
I think it was physical, but I didn't know.
Do you know what led to that?
Just talking and talking.
Okay. So was everything up to that point that you were in the back seat and he started attacking you? Was it just were you guys having generalized conversation at that point in time?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this all the while of trying to figure out how to get the car out too? Okay. So, maybe you had mentioned this, I missed it, but can you kind of describe to me, when you were in the back seat prior to him attacking you, so how were you positioned?
I was facing down, moving things out of the car to look in my seats and stuff, and then...
Kind of like crawling around?
Yeah.
Okay. So this started in the car, then ended up outside of it. And when you ran, was he moving? Was he laying on the ground at that point in time?
Was he moving or anything?
So I think the point that my partner's trying to get at here is when we found him, he was half in the car and half out. How would he get like that if he wasn't?
I didn't check to see if he was... I thought he was dead or something when I seen him on the ground, so that's why I started running and I was scared. So what was going on, but he wasn't moving or talking or anything when I seen him.
Was anyone else there with you too?
Did you see anybody else around?
No.
So, backing up to driving out there, so who drove you guys out there?
Alex was driving up the hill.
But who drove to that area first?
Alex was driving for the most part.
Okay. And then you drove there, and Alex drove up the hill, then you got in the driver's seat and drove it up over the hill.
To try to get it out, because I didn't want to get stuck.
Okay, so then you're in the back. Did you throw anything outside the car when you were digging around for stuff?
No. I didn't throw anything out. I was just moving things around and stuff.
Okay.
I moved my paintings to the front seat.
Okay.
Like that.
So you moved your paintings to the front seat. And where was Alex during this time?
He was behind me outside.
Okay. And did he still have the knife? Okay. And then, maybe this was what you asked, but how did the first contact take place? The first time he came, how were you positioned?
I was facing forward in the car, but then I heard him coming near me, so I turned around and then I was laying down.
Did he say anything to you?
No.
He just came at you with a knife?
Yeah.
Okay. And his first cut was where?
This is when it started at me, but the first cuts were here.
Okay. And then, so you're laying in the car with your head by the passenger side door? So you're laying on your back and he's doing this?
I'm laying, yes, on my back.
So you're laying on your
Out of my
back with your head towards the passenger side door. And he's now cutting you in different spots, right? If I'm not mistaken. So then, walk me through then. So you get a hold of the knife.
After it cuts my hand.
Yeah. So, and then you get it from him. Is he still on top of you at this point? Okay. And then what? Walk me through then what happens.
I just started stabbing anything I could.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Okay.
How did you end up on your back?
I rolled over to see what he was doing.
So that was prior to him grabbing onto you? Oh, okay. All right.
So then he stabs. So then you get the knife away from him and you're kicking him. Where's the first place you think you stabbed him?
I think the first place I stabbed him was in the head.
Okay. Okay, and then walk me through the order you think you stabbed him.
I think I stabbed him in the head, and then he just kept grabbing me and grabbing me.
Okay.
So I think I stabbed him in like this leg by the genital region, and then the stomach and the sides and stuff like that. Because I remember being pushed against, because I was moving in the back seat, and I remember being pushed against the middle console and just going. And then I remember stabbing in this region, inside the chest and neck region, and then...
Was that outside the car?
That was inside the car. And then I fell, because my shoes fell off, because I was kicking and everything, and he got out of the car. And then he went to grab me again, and I stabbed him in like the side by the ribs and stuff. And then it's like after that I just couldn't breathe, and I just started breathing and breathing and breathing. And then it just got really dark and scary. And I woke up and I peed my pants and everything, and I didn't know what was going on, and he was just laying there, so I started running.
Okay. And at no time, did you try to move the body at all? Did you try to move it from, did you drive the body out there to dump it? Did this take place someplace else?
No.
And you're just now, how come you didn't tell me this yesterday when we talked, Ezra?
Because I didn't, it's too scary.
I know it's scary, but we needed the truth, right? See, it's better to come and tell us the truth so we know what happened.
Because it's just so scary and I can't get it out of my head.
No. And we're sorry that you went through this.
And it just keeps replaying and replaying and replaying, and I wish it would go away.
Have you talked to any of the doctors about this? What happened?
No.
Okay, well, that's probably going to be a good place to talk. Okay. When you were stabbing him, were you trying to kill him?
I just wanted him to go away.
Okay.
I wanted to go away.
What happened to the knife afterwards?
I think I dropped it when I was running.
When you say dropped it, where do you think you dropped it?
In the grass.
Like, okay. So, you know how it's a big mud, you drove up there, like in the grass along the mud trail?
I think so.
Or like along the highway?
I think along the highway when I was running, because I remember falling down a few times because my legs were really weak.
Okay. Did you throw it like into the field, like a long ways away?
No, I think it just dropped.
Okay, so someplace between the car and Don's house, you dropped the knife. Okay.
I just wanted to go away.
When you were going up the road, do you remember what side of the road you were on?
The left side of the road?
So you would have been walking or running against traffic? Okay.
And that's when you were going to Don's house with the knife? Was the knife in your right hand or left hand, do you think, at that point?
I think it was in my left hand.
Okay, and so you're going up there, and as you're going, you just drop it in that ditch line. Okay.
What led you guys out there in the first place?
Just to find somewhere to talk. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to talk.
So was this just a random place that had either one of you ever been there before?
Were you giving him directions as he was driving, or was he just kind of...
Just kind of going wherever we go.
Okay. But everything happened there, and most of it took place outside the car. Okay. And you don't know how he got back in the car?
No.
Where's his cell phone at?
I don't know, because I think I grabbed it with my phone when I was running.
Okay.
And it fell a couple times. So I know that my phone broke, but I don't know because if his phone broke or not.
Why'd you grab his cell phone?
Because I needed to bring it to somebody.
Why?
So that it could call.
So you took his cell phone to call, but you don't know where it is? So did you throw that in the ditch too with a knife?
I think I dropped it with my phone.
But I think you guys got her phone, right?
Yeah, because you just had an iPod, correct?
So...
It might be in the ditch. Because I don't know if I dropped it in Don's yard or anything.
Okay. Did you rummage through his wallet at all?
No. My wallet's in the car and I know that all my money's in it. It's like a brown one.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to know, Ezra?
No, I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. So I know you said you had some photos, or some injuries. We do have a female deputy here. Would it be okay if she took some of the pictures of your photos? I know you have some in your private area, and they have a special room where they can take you in that she can just get some good photos, so we have that. Okay?
It's a girl though, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. So, one of the questions I have is, after this incident, did you do anything to yourself? Did you harm yourself in any way?
No, I didn't want to.
You said, well, what happened?
I didn't harm myself.
You didn't?
No, when I fell, I hurt my hand and I bit my tongue.
Okay. And then the boy carved in your arm. Okay. The part that throws me off on that is, if I'm sitting here and he's going to be carving it in, it's written perfect with a right-hand person like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if he would have write it in, it would have been reversed, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did boy get put in your arm?
I'm trying to think.
He didn't do that to you, did he? You carved boy into your own arm. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When did that happen?
That happened when I was in the car.
In the car with him? Or when did
When I was in the car after I woke up the second time.
So after you stabbed him and you came back into it, as you put it, because you blacked out, that's when you carved this in? Okay. How about the cuts to your legs? When did those happen?
Those happened before I stabbed.
And who did those?
He did those.
Okay.
She hurt really bad.
So he cut you here.
And here.
And he cut you on the legs, you're saying. But the boy was done by you? Why?
Because I felt really bad. Because I didn't want it to happen, and I felt really bad.
You didn't want what to happen? Ezra?
I didn't want any of it to happen.
Okay.
So I wrote it so that I have to remember what happened and feel bad about it.
What didn't you want to happen, Ezra?
I didn't want the attack to happen. I didn't want him to get hurt. I feel really bad about what happened. I just did it so that I don't ever have, so that I don't forget.
Did you cut yourself anyplace else afterwards?
No.
I need to know, Ezra, if you did. Okay?
No.
I need to know the truth on all of this.
No.
Okay. What else happened that you told me a different story to, Ezra?
I didn't cut myself here at all.
Okay.
And when I fell, I scraped my hand. And then I covered this on my arm so I wouldn't forget. And this happened when I was grabbing it. And this happened when I was grabbing it too.
Okay. And what you're saying when you're grabbing it, it's when he had the knife.
But I did this because I wanted to not forget what happened.
Was it any time during your guys' conversation there talk about sex today, or sex that day? About him wanting to have sex with you, or you wanting to have sex with him?
No. I didn't want to have sex at all.
Did he?
I don't think so.
Why did he have the knife, and why to cut your pants?
I think he just wanted to look at me.
Is that what he said? Or why? You said you think.
I don't know. It's been a really long time since I've seen him.
Okay.
And I don't know what he wanted. He was acting so strange and nonchalant, and he kept talking about things that didn't make sense. It was just so scary. Everything is just so scary, and I don't know what to do about it. It's just so scary, and I can't get anything out of my mind.
Mm-hmm. But everything you're telling us is the truth, Ezra? How it happened?
Yes.
There's no other stories you're going to change or anything else you're changing? So, part of the issue is the way he was cut, there wasn't a lot of blood found there. And he was soaking wet. How did he get wet?
I think the ground was wet.
Did he fall on the ground at some point?
When I left the car, he was on the ground.
Okay, was he alive at that point, do you know?
I couldn't tell.
Okay, did he have anything around his neck? How far away from the car was he?
Not that far. He was by, I think there was a green thing, like a dumpster, like a truck or something. It was green, and that's where he was by.
Okay. And then, you don't know how he got back in the car?
No.
Where was your scarf?
My scarf was in the car. The yellow and the blue and the red scarf was in the car.
Okay.
I think it was on the ground of the car.
Did you put that on him? Did you try to move him at all?
No. I didn't want to touch him.
Would you be willing to let this female officer take these photos? You good with that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
What we'll do is we'll have you walk out there with us, and we will have her come and go into the office, wherever that's going to be, and then you can have the photos taken. And then after that, if we have any more questions, is it okay if we come talk to you again?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I think so. Because I don't know if I have anything I have to do here.
Oh, okay. As far as like groups or sessions, I'm sure they're going to work with you, okay? And they're good people up here. Does that sound good to you?
Works for me.
All right. Well, let's go out there and we'll see if we can find Arlene and the gal that we're going to get you into a room. It's the director. She's got the private room for you, okay?
So Ezra was convicted of first-degree intentional homicide and sentenced to life in prison with a 50-year non-parole period on the 7th of February 2020.
If you haven't yet seen her condensed trial, the link will be at the end of this video. Ezra has been incarcerated in the Taycheedah Correctional Institution in Menominee, Wisconsin. The maximum discharge date on this form is in over 7,000 years, but I'm not going to complain about it.
Thanks for watching, and extra thanks to some of our viewers for their ongoing support.
Susan Barnes,
Check out her YouTube channel.
Jojo Wynn, Erin New Orleans Raised, Matt Willis, Denise Gwynn, Trauma Punk, and Hannah Bernard.
Thank you. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
It all helps.